Welcome to the Overlady Reads, the show where I, the Overlord, have a wife, the Overlady, and she reads. And this week, she reads Dawnshard, because I read it like 2 months ago, because you decided to read it after the before.
Yeah.
And for some reason, this book probably took you longer than some of the Stormlight Archive books.
It's taken me 3 weeks to read this.
I don't understand how it took you so long to read this book. It's like 100 pages.
So, we will get to that.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that. So yes, we've read Dawnshard, so we will be talking about Dawnshard, and so this is your spoiler warning for Dawnshard. Before we get into Dawnshard, our Ray of King's Leatherbound turned up.
Yay!
And we've left it in the plastic, because if I take it out of the plastic, it means I can't f*** with it as much as I like to f*** with them.
I used it as a footrest.
Not only did we get this, we also got this absolutely adorable little card box made for us by Paleo of the 70th Shards. I don't think he'll be making any more, but it's got an adorable little Chiri-Chiri on the front.
I love it.
And it's got a little shoe card inside.
Show them the shoe card, show them the shoe card. I love the shoe card.
It's hilarious. The idea behind this box is that when our... Can you see the writing? I don't think it's going to focus. It's fine, I'll post pictures of it somewhere.
Yeah.
The idea behind this is that when the Stormlight Archive Kickstarter pack of cards arrives, it's a box for the pack of cards. Because he's great.
But the cards are in there.
No. You know the Way of Kings Leatherbound Kickstarter?
Yeah.
We get like a box of goodies. You know, we're getting our sticker packs and our arts and stuff like that.
Marin.
Yeah, you're in Aaron. We're also getting, there's some like coasters and there's like a pack of cards in there. There's like buttons. That little goodie bag has got loads of stuff in it. We'll probably do like a little...
I thought it was for those cards.
No, those cards are way bigger than that.
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
It's a good job, Paleo. I love it. It's adorable.
Yeah. So good.
Cool. So, because Dawnshard is so short, we're kind of going to treat it like we did with the Arcanum Unbounded short stories, where we haven't written any notes. We're going to fly through what happens and just talk about our favourite moments. So if this seems a little more like ramshackle than what it normally would seem like, then that's because we've done no prep work.
Yay!
Yay!
I finished it this morning.
Finished this morning, and I was like, it's nearly Christmas, so we need to record. Cool. So, Dawnshard. This is the book that is set between Words of Oathbringer and Rhythm of War. And it tells the story of Rysn, our favourite trader lady, as she goes on an adventure.
Yes.
And the Lopen as well is there. And as is Cord and Huion, I want to say. I'm going to say it's Huion.
The Lesser Radiance. I'm not wrong.
I don't think he's... Oh, no, he is a Radiant. Yes, no, you're right. It was... Yeah, he was one of the last ones, wasn't he? In Bridge War.
I don't care.
Anyway, cool. So, things that happen in Dawnshard is we have a prologue where Yalb, who is the dude from Way of Kings.
Yeah, he's from the ship that Shallan and Yasna were on that magicked into Shadesmar.
Yes.
And stranded them all in the ocean.
Yes. So he survived, which is... we kind of knew that because Shallan drew a picture of, like, Yalb and the crew arriving on the boat, and we kind of assumed that meant that they were okay. She was, like, having one of her little, like, weird spiritual drawing moments.
I don't remember.
Yeah, she drew, like, a few things. One of the things she drew was, like, Yalb and a couple of other sailors surviving the ship sinking. Cool. Well, it didn't sink, it vanished.
So he finds the boat from that epilogue where there was the...
Yes.
Is it called an epilogue?
It's not an epilogue, it is an interlude.
It's from the interlude where the girl who was, like, addicted to soul casting and was, like, starting to fade away. It was the boat that she was on that landed in Aemia.
Yeah.
And the Aemians made sure that they didn't survive the trip.
Yes.
They find that boat because it didn't sink like it was supposed to. And now because they found this half-destroyed boat that went to a mysterious place in Aemia with no crew and a missing soulcaster, obviously people took notice and wanted to know what happened.
I was going to say, I quite liked there's a line later on where they mention that boat and they were like, those damn Thalans make their boats too good because we sunk it like we normally would and it didn't sink because it made it too good.
Yes,
so yeah.
So good.
good old Thalen boats. So we start with Rysn in Thalen City. Are we introduced to Nickley in the first chapter?
I don't.
Or was it the second?
No, it was the first or second. He's her assistant.
Assistant, yeah.
I'm gonna call him an assistant. The second that he was mentioned, that his description was mentioned, I was like, oh, he's an Amian. You were like, keep reading, and I was like, so he's an Amian.
You thought he was a seer, and you thought his
I don't know the difference.
God, one of them is a pile of bugs, and one of them is blue guys with tattoos.
Oh my god, they're both the same.
They're so different.
The same thing.
They're so different. You thought he was the he's the collector, and I did also pick on it immediately. The moment it mentioned tattoos up on his arms, I was like, oh, so this dude's a pile of bugs.
I don't know the difference, so we're good.
Okay.
He's an Amian who has decided he's joined with her to be her assistant so that he can keep an eye on Chiri-Chiri.
Yes.
So that's quite cute.
Yeah.
So then we get some Chiri-Chiri.
That's it.
That Chiri-Chiri's ill.
Yes.
Because Chiri-Chiri is now grown to a size where he needs to go and bond with the island. Otherwise, he's not going to make it much longer.
Yeah, otherwise he doesn't grow much bigger, and yeah. So I thought this was... Obviously, we don't find this out until later on. We just know he's ill. I thought this was cool because we've known for a long time that, like, great shells are chasm fiends.
Yeah.
They bond with Spren, like, with life Spren and gravity Spren, which allows them to get not crushed under their own weight. Rashadium, they bond with music Spren, so that, I guess, so that they can grow really big and strong. And so what we're seeing here is something that's supposed to bond a Spren to grow big and strong, but hasn't. And so it kind of... They don't wither and die, they just don't grow much bigger. They just
he kind of is dying.
Yeah.
Like, he's supposed to be like a purpley brown colour, and he's turned white.
Oh yeah, guys.
And he's not able to fly, and he's not...
He's just weak, and...
He's not really doing well. Probably would have died if he hadn't gone back to the island.
Yeah. This is something, by the way. Did you guys know that Chiri-Chiri was purple? I don't think I'd ever picked up on this before.
Well, I don't think they've ever really described him before. I always assumed that he was like crab coloured.
Yeah, like a lobster.
But now I know he's purple.
But apparently he's like purple, so...
So cute.
Yeah, didn't know that.
Love Chiri-Chiri.
Oh, what did you think of the artwork at the beginning of the book?
Oh, it's
We will talk about the other stuff in the book once we...
but like, I don't care about the other stuff in the book. The artwork is really cute. I love that piece of artwork.
I'm very happy we got that. I think we're going to get a bit more at some point.
I hope so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're going to get a bit more art based around this. I'm trying to remember if it was part of the Kickstarter, like an art pack. Based on, like, yeah.
I didn't know about the art pack.
We're getting an art pack with the same Kickstarter rewards. And I think in the live stream recently... Brandon said that we're going to get some more Dawnshard artwork in there with some more Chiri-Chiri.
I want more Chiri-Chiri.
Chiri-Chiri is adorable. So they go to Irithiru and they get permission from Navani because Navani's like hiring people to go check out Amia.
Yeah, but no one wants to because people don't come back alive from this trip.
Yeah.
And it's kind of well known that like you don't go there.
Yeah. And so she gets permission from Navani to go, like funding from Navani to go to Amia.
And Radiance.
Oh, and some Radiance to go with her as well, because we're taking Lopen with us. And so they're off. Before they leave, though, whilst we're still in Irithiru, we get the first Lopen chapter. And I was real suspicious of this book, because... To me, Lopen's like one of these comic relief characters.
Yes.
He's like Wayne, or he's like Lift, or he's like... I'm trying to think of other comic relief characters that... I didn't like... It's not that I didn't care about Lopen. I actually really liked him. He was one of the comic relief characters that I really liked. He didn't have overbearing viewpoints like Wayne does. And I don't mind Lift at all either. You know, I never thought of him. And so when I knew he was the main character of this book, I was really kind of like, is he gonna be too much? Is it gonna be like those Wayne chapters?
Yes.
I was gonna say, from the look in your face, I have a feeling you're gonna disagree with what I said. I really liked his chapters. I actually thought they expanded on his character enough that I was kind of like, oh, he's not just comic relief. He's a person. He's just a a weird person.
Cool. I absolutely loved Lopen in the books.
Yeah.
Because you don't get a lot of Lopen.
Mm.
And he's really, like, I quite like having him in little tiny doses that we get him.
Yeah.
There was way too much Lopen for me to handle in
Really?
this book. It wasn't... So Liv's book, obviously, she's quite immature, but she's a teenager, so
yeah,
like, it's okay. Like, she's a teenager who wants to be young, so I can understand that. Lopen isn't that kind of immature.
Yes, I was gonna say. I thought you. I don't find him immature.
He's definitely not immature. He's just weird.
Yeah.
Like, I quite liked when he's on the boat and he's telling jokes with Rysn.
Yeah.
Because I really loved their dynamic. Because obviously she's currently she's currently paralysed.
Yeah.
And he used to only have one arm.
Yes.
So he kind of can empathise with her and he understands what she has to put up with and how people treat her. So he kind of treats her like a normal person.
Yeah.
And that was really, like, that scene was really lovely. I loved him making jokes about her.
Yeah.
And her being like, yeah, like, we get each other.
Like, you can make jokes about these kind of conditions without, like, punching down at them.
Yeah.
You can make jokes with people can, you know.
It's treating her as a human being rather than a disabled person.
Yes.
And I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
I didn't like any of his other parts.
Oh, no. See, because of the...
No, that's a lie. I did quite like when he said his, the epilogue, when he says his third oath.
Yes.
I quite liked his realisation that maybe he does need to sort of think about the way he acts around people.
Yeah.
Because that's what I quite like. I like having a character who isn't aware of how much they affect other people.
Yeah.
Kind of understanding that and changing.
Yeah.
So I do quite like the fact that he's now aware and hopefully he's going to change a bit. Like, I like his jokes, but he is a bit much.
He is a bit
in
much.
Large doses. I love him in little doses.
Yeah.
But there was too much the Lopen in this book. Because I didn't know he was the main character.
Okay.
Because again, this is a book that I went into...
almost completely blind.
Other than knowing that the Dawnshard is going to turn up at some point, because obviously it's called Dawnshard.
Yeah.
And it had Chiri-Chiri on the cover, so I assumed it was going to have Rysn in it.
Yeah.
But that's all I knew about this book.
You didn't even know it was about Rysn and Lopen going to Amia?
Knew nothing.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Until the only inkling that I had of what this book was about was when in Rhythm of War it says, they just got back from their trip to Amia. And I was like, oh, okay, so I guess they go to Amia.
Yeah.
But, like, that's it. Like, I hadn't read anything about this before going into it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I really struggle with reading large chunks of comic relief character.
Yeah.
So that's why it took me 3 weeks to read this book.
That's fair enough.
Not just that, but there was so much mechanics. Like,
okay, sorry, yeah, I thought you meant like Cosmere mechanics, but no, fabrical
like
mechanics.
Mechanics.
Yeah.
And again, like, those are things that, like, in the nicest way, I don't particularly care about.
Yeah. Oh no, you're allowed to.
Please don't.
No, don't worry.
Like,
some people do not like cosmology at all. They do not care about romantics in any way.
I'm not technical enough. Like, if you tell me that this thing works because of magic, I'm fine with that. I don't need to know the physics behind it. I don't need to know why.
So how does magic work?
Yeah, like, I'm quite happy just accepting this is a fantasy book. Fantasy stuff's going to happen. I don't need to know the absolute ins and outs of how it happens.
Yeah.
So a lot of this book, I was kind of like, okay, can we get to Amia now?
Yeah.
Okay, can we get some Chiri-Chiri? Because there's not enough Chiri-Chiri in my Chiri-Chiri book.
There was not enough, I agree.
There was definitely not enough Chiri-Chiri.
Yeah. Going back to Lopen, though, that's that first chapter of his point of view where he flies up the Reshi Isles ambassadors up into really high on the window of Erythea. Oh, yeah. And he's like... He, like, shows him, like, he's like, oh, yeah, the view's just really nice from up here. And he's like, are you trying to intimidate me or something? Like, what are you doing? And he's like, no, the view's just really nice from up here. I was like, I don't know, it kind of... it made me think that Lopen's not just comic relief. He doesn't just do stuff at random. He has a unique way of seeing the world that I really liked.
As I said, I don't see him as a dumb, immature character. I think he is quite impulsive.
Yeah.
Like, he does things without really having any sort of consideration for what others will think.
Yeah.
He just doesn't care. Like, Lopen is Lopen. He doesn't really mind what people think of him.
Yeah.
He just wants to have a good time.
He assumes people are going to think like he will. Like,
yeah.
He sees a really beautiful mountain-like view, and he thinks, people are going to want to see this. Like, you've never been to the tower before. Let me show you this incredible view. And, like, without even thinking that, they might be afraid of being flown 400 feet in the air.
Yeah. Like, because that's the thing about him. I think I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
But I think he's quite impulsive. I think he does things without thinking about the consequences. And then afterwards he's like, oh yeah, maybe I should have asked permission first. Oh well, it's done now. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, that's the sort of character he is. And, like, I genuinely don't have anything against him. I really do like the Lopen.
Yeah, there was just a bit much.
There was just too much of the Lopen.
That's fair.
And I don't like the fact that it's always the Lopen. I wish it was just Lopen. Because the Lopen kept throwing me completely.
The Lopen didn't throw me as much as Radiant the Lopen. Because that one written in text in a sentence, I was like, oh, right, okay, it's not the Radiant Lopen or Radiant Lopen, it's Radiant the Lopen. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So... yeah, we get the opening scene where we get to get Lopen a bit more. Then we get on the boat trip. Yeah. And Rushu's with them as well. We cannot forget Rushu because Rushu
certainly cannot.
Was always my favourite Ardent.
Yeah.
Always like my favourite of like the sub characters. You know, you got like your main 3 or 4. And then we've got like all the side characters. And then she's like a side character to a side character.
I do love her.
And she was always my favourite.
Cute.
And she was really good in this book.
Yeah.
I really liked her in this. Rushu and Rysn, they work together on like trying to work out like a way of her getting around easier. They invent that floating wheelchair.
Yeah.
But they don't specifically invent the floating wheelchair. It's Huion.
Yeah.
You've got a cat's tail.
I love her.
And what I thought was super interesting was he does this twice in this book.
Yeah.
With Huion and Cord, who is Rock's daughter, who's also come with them.
Yeah.
Where he does the thing where he gets the character who can't speak Alethi, and obviously everyone's been speaking Alethi all these books. The character that is kind of seems a bit slow and, you know, dumb because they can't speak Alethi, and he has them switch their native tongue, and it's like, oh no, this person is way smarter than we gave them credit for.
Yeah.
And I love that aspect that this book, you know, it was like, hey, are you having fun now?
Yeah, I'm just having so much fun.
Good. And I really liked that aspect of this book. It's like, hey, just because someone's struggling in one language does not mean that they're stupid.
Yeah.
You know, they in their own language, Huion's a genius. He invents the whole, like, aluminium... Well,
I'm pretty sure it was accidental.
Yeah,
I don't think he purposely did it, but...
He was smart enough to be able to take it apart and almost put it back together correctly.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you noticed as well, this is also the technology that allows them to build the 4th bridge eventually.
Yes, I assumed so.
Yes. So they go on the boat. They have some hijinks related to the crew not trusting Rysn, and like bad omens, which all turn out to be because of Nickley, our good friend. And then about a third of the way through the book, which I really liked, we got a Nickley point of view.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we get a short. How could you? It's like one of the highlights of the book for me.
I'm sorry, I read it like 2 weeks ago.
Oh my god. So yeah, we got a sleepless point of view.
Yeah.
And I loved the sleepless point of view because for me, I think mechanically wise, there's a lot to be explored there. And it also confirmed a couple of things. Brandon has said the sleepless are based on a hive mind called the Tynes from a book called Fire Upon the Deep, which is a book I've read. It's a Werner Vinge book. And the Tynes in Fire Upon the Deep were like a dog hive mind. You had like 12 dogs, or I think it was like 8 something like that. And they went around as like a pack, but the pack had a shared intelligence. And so it was a bunch of dog packs, the shared intelligence. And since he said he was based on those, I could never decide how extensive the sleepless ability to communicate was.
Yeah.
Because the Tides could only communicate within like a few meters. And like they weren't able to communicate very far at all.
Yeah.
And so I always wondered how well the sleepless could communicate.
Yeah.
And so it seems that the sleepless can have
It's infinite.
Is basically infinite. The whole planet is like, as long as they have bugs, they just have layers of bugs, to the point where I'm seeing it and I'm like, what if every bug on Roshar is a sleepless?
Well,
like, is it like
no?
They have an extensive network of bugs all over the place.
Yeah. But they're not from Roshar.
They're not from Roshar, so yeah.
So something tells me that, like, if their bugs were around, you would know the difference.
Because
obviously they're not crab-based.
They're more like bugs, yeah.
Yeah. So I have a feeling that they would stand out a lot more. It's like, hey, look, everything's crab except for all of the bugs.
Well, the Rosharans, they do always be able to... Well, they don't always pick up on them, but they just call them Kremlings. They just look like Kremlings to them. Like,
yeah, but that's what I mean, like... I feel like there's... Because it's always like... Theirs are always described slightly differently.
Yeah.
Like an odd-looking Kremling.
They're always weird-looking Kremlings, yeah.
And therefore, I think that there must be normal-looking Kremlings.
Yes.
And so these ones can't be them. They have to be something different.
I was going to say, that was kind of what was going through my head when I realised how extensive the Sleepless Network could have been. I was like, damn, what if all the bugs are? I don't think all the bugs are. But, like, it's like... huge network.
Yeah.
I think to me, like a network, like a computer network, is how I most likely see how they work. Like you could have like relay bugs and like the way they communicate with each other, because you've got the 20 swarms, with 4 of them are traitors.
Yeah.
3 are working for the enemy, and 1 of them is Arklow from Edge Dancer. You know, the one that Lift meets in Edge Dancer?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that Lift meets in Edge Dancer is apparently one of the traitors, but isn't working for the enemy.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And if you remember in Rhythm of War, Hoyd finds a Kremling hidden as a pen in his pen case, who I assume is one of the traitor ones.
It would be.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, actually could have been one of the ones that follow the first. But just...
I was going to say, how do we know that...
He's also spying on Hoyd, you know?
Well, no, because, like, Hoyd isn't from this planet either. And, like, great forces from beyond want to find the Dawnshard.
Yes.
So how do we know that Hoyd isn't secretly looking for the Dawnshard?
We'll
and
get
therefore
to
they're
Hoyd.
keeping an eye on him?
I was going to wait until we start talking about Dawnshard stuff.
I love Kitty.
You love Kitty. I'll wait until we talk about Dawnshard before we talk about more of Hoyd.
But we're talking about Dawnshard.
I meant the actual thing.
Okay, Rysn is Dawnshard. There we go.
Rysn is Dawnshard. Okay, no, let's get to the island. Right, so they find out that Nickley Archimedes, whatever his full name is traitor. They trap him on an island with his buddy. And
but
Brandon,
obviously bugs can't be trapped, so he escapes.
So he escapes. It was really funny. Someone asked recently what happened to the other guy that was left with Nickley.
He just died.
No, because they left him there. They go pick him back up on the way back. But he said that guy's probably really traumatized right now because his boss just like... He was trapped in an island with his boss, and he was like, so boss, what are we going to do? And his boss was like, melts into bugs. And so, you know...
I feel like he might have already known, no.
I don't know. They were very secretive, these guys.
I know, but...
Okay, so they arrive at Amia. They go through the gap that was left by... I can never remember her name. Smoke Lady.
Stone to Smoke Lady.
Stone to Smoke Lady. We have the kitty here. Look at the kitty.
Her.
They get to Amia. Mm-hmm. They have a couple little adventures. They have a couple little adventures where Huion and Rushu and Lopen go searching for things, whilst Rysn stays on the boat. And they discover the whole island is basically fake. This whole island is fake. And it's built on top of something to hide things. It's like full of treasures so that someone comes, finds the treasures that they've left, and leaves without finding the Dawnshard.
Yeah.
But then Chiri-Chiri jumps into the water after they get through the
follows the Luxspren into
follows
the water.
the Luxspren into the water. Then Nickley attacks the boat with 2 other of the swarms, I think. And they attack the boat, and so Rysn jumps out of into the water with Cord.
Cord grabs her and like chucks her into the water. Because there's no way that Rysn wants to fall from a great height into water again.
Yes.
So, oh boy, she did not want to do that.
Yeah. So Cord and Rysn, they swim, they follow the Luxspren.
Yes.
Which take them to like this underground cave. And Chiri-Chiri rushes off through the caves.
No. They don't know where Chiri-Chiri is at this point. Chiri-Chiri left them before the swarm attacked, and they haven't seen him since.
Got ya. So they...
It's not his time yet.
Go exploring. They find a nice little box with some soul casters in it. Cord finds some shard plate for herself, which is what she wanted. That's one of the reasons she was going there, is she wanted to earn some shards that she can take back to
her people,
the Hornita Peaks. And then there is a Dawnshard on the wall, I guess. So it's a big mural, like a gold foil mural, with split into 4, and then each 4 of those sections split into 4 more sections. So clearly representing the 16 shards. We don't have any sort of representation of that.
Cool.
Because it's just like the 16. This is the 16 thing. Is Arcanum Unbounded?
I don't know. I want whatever section has whimsy in it.
Okay.
That's my section.
And so...
Freaking love whimsy.
So Rysn stares at the mural of the Dawnshard, and then it asks her to accept it, and so she accepts it. And then, according to what Nickley says, she now is the Dawnshard.
Yes.
She now is a Dawnshard. She doesn't have a Dawnshard or hold a Dawnshard. She is a Dawnshard. And apparently that...
So cool.
That distinction is apparently important, because Brandon has said, according to the way that things work in World, saying she is a Dawnshard is correct. So whatever that means. So what is a Dawnshard? Well, a Dawnshard is one of the 4 commands given by creation that gave birth to the universe.
Gave birth to Adonasium.
No.
Shattered Adon.
They were then used to shatter Adonalsium.
By Hoid.
Yes. Hoid was definitely involved. And there's where we can talk about the Hoid thing. Brandon has now confirmed that Hoid was a Dawnshard.
Oh, cool.
Yes. And apparently that's one of the reasons he's immortal. It's related to that.
Well, him and the other 4 clearly shattered Adonasium.
It'll be the other 3 because of the 4. Yeah.
Sorry. But they clearly shattered
so
Adonasium
the 4 of them
together.
Shattered Adonasium together.
Cool.
Don't know who the other 3 is. Who the 3 are.
Me.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
Whoa, you hit it first, guys. Lucy was one of the other Dawnshard that
Rappo guys.
So yes, so Hoid was one, and the other 3 were held by other people, I assume. I assume those who, they may be shards now. Maybe not all of them, maybe 1 or 2 of them.
No. I reckon they can... Oh, no, because they had a choice to pick up parts of Adonasium.
Exactly. Because right now we've always said this spin... What's that?
Oh. Do you think
Yeah.
the shards that end up shattering other shards used to be Dawn shards?
I can tell you.
Because it doesn't happen often. Obviously, no. The
Yeah.
Odium obviously shattered the most.
Yeah.
And, sorry, not Odium, Rays obviously shattered the most. And who was the other one?
I think that it was all...
It was all Rays.
It was all Rays as far as
well,
we know.
there we go.
Yeah.
So, like, Rays could have easily been a Dawn Shard, because
Rays could
obviously
have been a Dawn Shard,
he
yeah.
would have experience in shattering shards. And I reckon that he used one of the other Dawn Shards to help him.
Yeah.
Because obviously Honor was taken down by at least 2 that we know of.
I think... Okay, I don't... So, one of the things that... one of the things that Nickley says is that the command that the Dawn Shard grants Rysn cannot be used by her as she is now. Her mind is not expanded enough to use it.
Yeah.
And so I have a feeling that if there was the 17 people at the Shattering, there was probably more, if 4 of them were Dawn Shards and they were all picking who gets to pick up shards, I imagine the other 13 that weren't Dawn Shards were like, no, you guys need to give up your Dawn Shards if you're going to become shards, because if you became shards with a Dawn Shard, then you'd have the capacity to use it.
I don't think so. I think maybe that's why there's these strict oaths in place that are not allowed to hang out with other shards.
Yeah.
Because obviously they don't want... Because maybe one of them alone can't do it, but 2 or more can, which is why they made the agreement that no, they wouldn't hang out with each other. They would all go their separate ways.
I'm not sure, because they also say Rysn's not allowed to become a Radiant. And I think the general consensus is that's because if she became a Radiant, she would start gaining the capacity to use the command in the Dawn Shard. And
but
the barrier for entry on using a Dawn Shard is apparently low enough to just be Radiant level. So a full Shard would definitely be able to use it. If that is correct.
Yeah, but it might just be a case of them not wanting her to be powerful enough to be used with another Dawn Shard.
Yeah.
So if there's already 2 Dawn Shards that hold actual full shards, as long as they don't get together, they wouldn't be able to shatter anything. But they clearly have been getting together, which is against the agreement that they made.
Yes. It's really hard.
I think Race and Whimsy were. Because Whimsy definitely seems like the sort that would be like, yeah, let's do it.
Let's meet up and let's kill some dudes. I don't know. There might have been 20 people at the Shattering. Like I said, I have a feeling that the Shattering was way more complicated than we give it credit for.
I don't know. To be honest, I don't want any more, like, forward books. I want, like, past books.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like, I want a book about the Shattering of Amnesia.
Yeah, I want Dragonsteel at this point. I'm like, give me that.
Like, that is what I want from life.
I agree. The other Dawn Shards, so the one that Rysn is Change.
Exactly, that's why they don't want her to be powerful enough to use it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because she can change things.
Yeah. So the other 3, do you have any theories of what they could possibly be? So these are the 4 commands that created everything, apparently.
I didn't know that was a thing until right this second.
What was the thing?
So, any of what you've just said about the Dawn Shards, I didn't know anything about it.
I mean, we are given 1 paragraph. That's the thing. We are given, like, 1, maybe 2 paragraphs about what Dawn Shards are. And this 1, maybe 2 paragraphs change how much we know about the Cosmere.
Yeah, but I legitimately have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, so
you said change.
Yeah, so it's...
I'm assuming it'll be create.
Okay, yeah.
So create, change, cull. Like, as in, like, cull things. Like get
destroy.
Rid of, yeah. I'm going with small being seas.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Because I don't think it would be cultivation, because obviously that's already a shard.
Oh, that would be change. To cultivate something is to change it.
Yeah. Maybe like chaos or something.
See, I
Whimsy.
There's a few. I like create, stay the same, change, and destroy. So whether it's create, stasis. I think stasis is being given 1.
I would help if I had like a 4, like a 16 split into 4.
Yeah.
But I think 4 shards will represent each of the different things.
Yeah.
Which is why I think something like you said a word and it's like, no, because that's already a shard, so I feel like that's...
Stay the same.
Yeah, I feel like that's too close.
See...
I feel like it will be an umbrella that covers that.
Yeah.
But I think the 4 different terms will sort of be umbrella terms for what those 4 shards can do, if that makes sense.
Yes, I agree.
I don't know what you would call them, but I think like Odium, Ruin. I'm gonna say Whimsy as well because I like the idea.
You just like saying Whimsy.
Yeah, I do. And one of the other sort of more chaotic ones would all be under 1 umbrella.
Yeah.
It's hard because I don't actually know the names of the shards because you say them, but it just goes completely over my head. They just go over your head, yeah. The only one that sticks is Whimsy because I desperately want more of Whimsy.
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely just want a Whimsy planet, and I want to know all about Whimsy planet. And I want it to be full of, like, weird, whimsical and people just hating their lives because they never know what's going to happen.
See, whilst I like create, change, stay the same, destroy, I have a feeling one of them is related to emotion, like feel, like, because we have a few shards that are related to feelings.
Yeah.
And so, like, with Adonal's
maybe like
being
care
more about,
or something.
Yeah, care. Yeah.
There we go. Another C.
I mean, it's so hard to stop because the thing is, we also don't even know for sure that the 4 Dawn shards, that each one of the 16 shards fits into one of the 4 Dawn shards. We're kind of just assuming that because of the mural, because of the 4 splits of 4.
Change, create.
Yeah.
What did I... Care.
Yeah.
Change, create, care. And I quite like one about destruction. So I'm going to go with coal. Because I can't think of another C word that means, like, to destroy at the moment.
Yeah.
But I quite like the idea of, like, those 4.
Yeah.
I don't know. I literally just found this out.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I like the idea of it.
So in the book, it tells us that the one that Rysn has seems to give her the command to change. It seems to be giving us that.
Yeah.
And so we assume the others are other commands that do things.
Yeah.
I could get real deep into realmatics about what this is, but I have a feeling that you'd rather I just stopped recording rather than actually talk about that. You just leave.
Yeah. No. What will happen is you can talk about it, and I'm gonna like go upstairs and eat cake or something.
Okay, fair enough.
Cake. Begins with C.
And so what?
Right.
Oh, you scared the kitty away.
Sorry, kitty.
Kitty didn't like that. My kitty.
Right. The Dawn Shards were originally dragons.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Let's do it.
So the 4 Dawn Shards were dragons.
Okay.
A couple of them then chose to like pick up shards and became like shard dragons. But I think that is why they've got like these weird dragon type creatures protecting them.
Okay.
Because they used to be dragons, and they used to be like the almighty dragons.
Yeah. Like
these 4 like dragon gods.
Yeah.
And then they decided to take on like the crystal god. So that's why they shattered him. And then they were like, oh no, we've created more. Right, in order to stop this from like being an issue, we'll take them. And then that way we can control some of them. And like it just got really out of hand.
You completely lost me with that one. If you guys at home were lost there, I was lost.
Right. Okay, I'm just saying random crap, okay? Just leave me alone. That's what I do.
Yes. Okay.
When it turns out that the Dawn Shards are all dragons, you're going to be really, really regretful of saying that.
Okay.
And that's why Hoyd always looked up to the dragons, because he was one of them, and then when he wasn't anymore, he was like, oh man, I wish I was still a dragon.
I got you. Yeah. Okay.
Because now he's a dog.
I forgot that your theory that Hoyd is a literal dog.
Look, the Cosmere's fun, okay?
The Cosmere is fun. But yes, so Dawnshard is interesting. I really want to ask Brandon when we're going to find out more about Dawnshards, because is this a Mistborn Era 4 thing? Is this going to be a Dragonsteel thing?
I hope so.
I'm like, I want to ask Brandon, be like, hey, so obviously he's given us this little nugget of information about Dawnshards. Like I said, it's literally 2 paragraphs. When are we going to find out more? Is this something you've given us like 10, 20 years earlier than it's actually going to be explored? Or is this something that's, going to factor into the end of the Stormlight Archive, which is still 10, 20 years down the line, but What
you need to ask him is,
Relating?
No, because we now know that. Mm-hmm. I'm devastated, but I'm so happy at the same time, because I genuinely am happy for them.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I've been given 3 years to
prepare myself.
Yeah.
Fair for cute boy night boyfriends.
Yeah. He's so cute. I hope he doesn't reject him.
No, I don't think he will. I think they'll be great together.
I really want them to.
Cool. So I think we've hit the main points there. Sorry again about this being a bit more ramshackle than before.
That's fine.
But some other stuff we liked. Lucy, what other stuff did you like?
So I absolutely loved the way that Rysn was written. I love the attention to detail taken when describing, like, her.
Yeah.
Like, I really loved how carefully, her being paralysed was thought about, and, like, all of the different challenges that she would face, and, like, the ways that she could move independently.
Yes.
The ways that she would need help. I really love the fact that, like, there was a lot of care and effort put into it. Like,
yes.
Little things like on the boat, strapping her legs down so that they didn't, like, get waved about.
Yeah.
And obviously having, like, all of the benches where she could independently, like, shift herself along. Yeah. Like, I really love the attention to detail that there was.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool.
Yes.
Like, because again, you don't often get paralysed characters and disabled characters.
As the main characters of stories, yeah.
Or just in general, I don't think I've read many books where there's been a paralysed character, and especially not one where so much care and attention has been given to making sure that they're represented in a way that would make sense.
Is like respectful.
Yeah. Because I've read books where, like, they've had characters in wheelchairs, but, like, beyond mentioning the fact they are in a wheelchair, like, nothing is really said about them, and, like, they can magically, like, get up to floors in, like, buildings that they shouldn't be able to get to.
Yeah.
It's like, magic, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's really cool that, like, so much care has been put in beyond, they're in a wheelchair, so there's ramps, they can just use those.
I was going to say, I've recently read a book about a character with only one hand.
Yeah.
And I noticed just how little it was mentioned, considering how much of an effect that would have on someone's life. And it was good to see it, like, this was explored, as in, like, hey, this is what living with this is like.
Yeah.
It's something that affects everything, but it's you know, it doesn't make them less capable.
Yeah, I really like that. Again, I really loved the scene with her and Lopen, where Lopen was kind of empathising with her with the whole, like, having a disability and, like, just treating her like an actual, just normal person.
Yeah.
Which obviously a lot of people around her probably don't do anymore.
Yeah.
So I really liked that dynamic. I love Chiri-Chiri.
Chiri-Chiri's great.
I just want more Chiri-Chiri.
He's getting big now.
I know, I want big Chiri-Chiri. I want her to be able to ride him around.
It was really cool that we found out what Rysn did during Dawnshard. Yeah. But then it wasn't until Rhythm of War that we found out what Chiri-Chiri did. Yeah. Where apparently Chiri-Chiri, when he was off doing his own thing,
he was talking to the big dragons. He was
talking to the dragon skulls.
Yeah.
And they were telling him that he has to protect things. And he was like, okay, that's something big and scary was coming. So apparently these bug dragons can talk to each other even after they've died.
Well, if they're from the same place as the Amiens are.
I don't think they are.
I assumed that they'd taken the Dawnshard from their world and hidden it in this one.
No, apparently the Dawnshard came through the Hornator Peaks and hid itself on Amia.
I like the idea of this big tapestry thing just hiding it.
This is the weirdest thing to me. So does that mean a person who was the Dawnshard came through the peaks?
No, a dragon.
And then turned into a mural?
No, a dragon.
And the thing that bothers me is, what is the mural made out of?
A dragon. It's a dragon. Dragon!
I was about to say a dragon can't be foil, but we've literally just had a character introduced called Foil, who is probably a dragon.
Exactly, dragon.
Oh! Bloody Foil and his dragonness under oceans. We don't know if Foil's a dragon. I'm assuming.
Foil is a dragon.
And it seems like a dragony thing to have.
Makes sense.
Called. I really liked how Rysn kind of was finally able to finish her arc of, like, her becoming a trader thing. because she's not really, you know, done much of it, and she hasn't really, like, her crew doesn't really respect her. So when she sat down on that table with Nickley, it really felt like like an ending to her character, which I thought was really nice. I think that's us done then.
I also really enjoyed Cord.
Yes.
I thought that she was a really cool character, and I like the fact that she's been tasked with helping protect Rysn, and she's like, I'm not capable of that yet. I need to train and get good at this, and then I will come back and protect her.
Yes.
I quite like the fact that she didn't just go, even though she doesn't know what she's doing. Like, I like the fact that she's strong enough to say, actually, I'm not ready for that responsibility. Let me make myself ready. Yeah,
she's her own person she has stuff to do first before she can just abide by the whims that the plot decided that she needed to do. Yeah,
I really love that about her.
Yeah. I thought, I've seen people talk about the romance between her and Lopen, and I just kind of sat there and was like, Lopen like flirts with her a little bit, but she's clearly completely oblivious, and he then stops. Because
isn't she like 14 as well?
She's like 16 in Rasharan years, which is like 17, 18. Yeah.
Okay, that's not so bad. I thought that she was like a literal child.
No. This is like she's like coming into adulthood, and I don't even know how old Lopen is.
The Lopen is ageless.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I don't consider this a romance. I consider this Lopen tried his hand flirting with someone that he liked, but then she just didn't reciprocate at all, so he stopped. I'm like, that's cool. Fair. And that's the end of that. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Cool. What else? I really liked the scene of them them all in the cave during that storm. I really liked that scene. This is just before they call out Nickley as being the traitor, not.
Yes.
Yeah. You remember this?
I skim read that chapter.
Oh my god, it was a good chapter. How did it take you to this long to read this book? If you skim read it, and it's like
there's so much that just didn't interest me, and I love you, but like, oh my god, this was the hardest of the books to get through. Because I spent the whole book waiting for more Chiri-Chiri, and then Chiri-Chiri just wasn't happening.
Yeah.
So I just kept I kept falling asleep reading it.
Wow. Okay. Fair enough then.
I'm sorry.
I read it in like an hour. Because it's a really short book.
It kept putting me to sleep.
That's fair enough.
Don't judge me.
Look, we can go. You've finished now. Before we finish the episode, you've read 99% of the Cosmere. You're only missing White Sand, which I also haven't read, so I'm not going to blame you for that. How does it feel? You can read other authors now. You're allowed.
Finally. I have been waiting 6 months to read the books on my Kindle, so I'm quite glad that I can now read them. Yeah, it's alright. Like, I quite liked it. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
Good.
There's definitely...
That's glowing praise from Lucy, don't you guys worry.
There's definitely a few series that I'm not going to continue with.
Yeah.
Well, there's one series I'm not going to continue with.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I do want other books in the Cosmere. Like, I'm loving Stormlight Archive more than I thought I would.
Yeah. I thought you wouldn't like it that much as well.
Yeah. I want to meet some of the other shards. Like, I want to see what the other shard worlds are like.
Yes.
But when I say that, I just want Whimsy.
I think
I am waiting for Whimsy. I
think we're only going to get one more book series on a different world, which will be if we ever get the Aether planet. There's a planet which has this magic system called Aethers. It was in a book called Aether of Night, and I think that's the only book series planned in the Cosmere that's not set on one of the planets we've already met.
I just want Whimsy.
Yeah.
Though.
I know, I don't think we get it. Well, heck, who knows? Maybe the Aether planet is Whimsy. Who knows?
No, because he's the kite planet of fun.
Obviously.
Like, I will accept short stories. I will accept, like, Arcanum Unbounded number 2.
Oh, I'd love an Arcanum Unbounded number 2.
And, like, stories of the greater Cosmere. I think that would be pretty cool.
Cool. So, I guess this is the end then. Until, like, the next book.
Yeah.
So...
Oh, no. Because if the next book is a Mistborn book, I'm not reading it.
Yeah, it will be a wax and for
Well, there we go. Yeah. Like, so this is not the end.
Okay, so this is the end until the next Stormlight book, which will be 2023. We do have... Yeah. So the Overlady has now read the Cosmere.
Yeah.
We have got other videos planned, so we're probably going to go down... We won't be doing weekly anymore. We're going to go down to probably monthly. I'm going to try and do monthly.
Okay, fair enough.
Because I want to do shorter but better edited videos. So we're going down to monthly.
Cool.
We've got some ideas of videos, but if you guys have ideas for videos, let us know. We'll take suggestions. I'll probably be asking patrons for suggestions. In the comments down below, you guys let us know your thoughts on Dawnshard, what you thought of our thoughts on Dawnshard. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Follow us on 17shard.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and YouTube. Give us money on Patreon, and you'll get videos early when we eventually make them, but probably not all the time. And yeah, have a wonderful Christmas and a great New Year's, and we'll see you in 2021. Ish. Bye. Bye.